Welcome to A Better HR Business, the podcast that looks at how HR consultants and HR tech firms grow their businesses and how they help their employers to get the best out of their people. Remember, for show notes and downloads, go to www.getmorehrclients.com/podcast. That's getmorehrclients.com/podcast. Okay, let's get started.
Hello, thanks for joining me again today. Looking forward to talking about a particular topic relating to thought leadership and content. And it's this piece of advice: you've got to ignore Kevin Costner. Remember in the film Field of Dreams, the baseball movie, where he's a corn farmer or something like that, but he builds a baseball field, cuts down all his corn, builds a baseball field because of this imaginary baseball team of dead baseball heroes. These ghosts come out and play at night on his field. Great little movie, by the way. But the famous line out of that movie is this voice that drifts across the cornfield saying to him, "If you build it, they will come." And the sense of, if you build this field, good things will happen. Everyone will just discover it and it'll be amazing. Wonderful movie, great story, great message. However, when it comes to thought leadership and content marketing, it's not the case. Okay, so ignore Kevin Costner. The reason I say that is you go into so much time and effort and money sometimes to produce excellent thought leadership, excellent content. And by those, I mean webinar presentations. I might say put on a webinar, but that to you may mean, all right, I'm going to make some slides. I've got a storyboard out what I'm going to say. I need to either write out a script or have someone write it for me. I need to make it look good. So do I design it myself? Do I have a designer or outsource the design? And then I've actually got to have the webinar or record the video if that's what it is. Same for an article. You've got to spend time and effort writing out the article, or you've got to ask a member of your team or outsource it to a writer. If you want to write an ebook or a white paper, that's obviously even more time and effort in terms of writing, research, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to make it look good, again, there's the design element, making it look fabulous. There's so much time and effort in. Once you produced it, of course it's amazing. Of course it's helpful to your target audience and people will really appreciate it. But that's where people stop, right? They produce a wonderful article or a LinkedIn post or an ebook or a podcast episode or a video or a webinar. They produce something and then they think, oh, what would Kevin Costner do? If I build it, they will come. No, they won't. That's half of the story. Think 50%, right? It's the first half of that story. The second half is you just have to get in there and hustle or have a plan to promote that piece of content. And when I say hustle, if it's on the unpaid side, then that means sending it out, doing posts about it, promoting it in newsletters and emails, sending it to people in LinkedIn messages, talking about it when you're chatting to people, putting it on your website, repeating that process over and over. On the paid side, it might be, all right, I'm now going to promote this via an ad, whether that's Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn or Google or in the HR media. So there's all sorts of newsletters, websites, services out there that will include your article in there and you pay to promote that. They send it out to their large database, but you're putting money in to promote that. But either way, you've got to put in the effort to promote that and get the word out there. Otherwise, what's the sound of one hand clapping, or if a leaf or tree falls in the forest, does anyone really hear? You've got to get the word out there. Okay. So forget Kevin, but once you've produced some excellent content, really have a plan in place and a process. And a process is probably the most important part to that. Every time I produce something, how will I promote it? What's my strategy? And what are the check boxes that I need to fill in? Almost like a pilot doing a pre-flight check. You fill in the boxes. I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that, until it's promoted completely. And there's nothing to stop you repeating the process in a few months' time and just keeping that ball rolling. But otherwise, you will not see the kind of traction and the impact of that content unless you put the impact and the effort in on the second half of that story. Okay. Short but sharp, but that's the key. Get out there and promote the content. Otherwise, it's almost wasted. You want to give it the best shot for educating your ideal target market and bringing new sales leads to your business. So promote. Thanks then. See you.
Thanks for joining us today on A Better HR Business, the podcast that explores the world of HR consulting and HR tech businesses. For show notes and downloads, go to www.getmorehrclients.com/podcast. That's getmorehrclients.com/podcast. Remember to subscribe and share the show with any friends who are busy growing a HR business. Thanks, and see you next time.